Hey, this weekend I am headed by myself, completely alone, 7.5 hours away from my house to go to a retreat for adoptive and foster moms called Filled. So this retreat is kind of led, I believe, by Jamie Finn from Foster the Family, which is a blog, and she has a podcast, a lot of really great foster adoption content. And none of my foster adoptive moms in my area that I know could go to this. I asked all of them. Everyone's too busy or has too much stuff going on. So I was kind of like, do I go? Do I not go? And I just really felt like this is something I wanted to do. I was supposed to go to a retreat last year, like in the fall. When I say last year, I mean last school year. Okay. Last school year in the fall, but I was sick. And then this week, I was sick again, but thankfully I'm better enough. You might notice my voice, to me at least, sounds a little weird, but I am completely recovered, other than my voice is just a little off right now. I was like, I will not get sick again and not be able to go. So anyway, I wanted to be able to go to this one because I had to cancel the last time. So even though none of my friends could come, I'm going. I hear there's a lot of stuff for people who go by themselves. So I am definitely hopeful that it will not be a super awkward experience. The good news is I have a hotel room all to myself for 2 nights, which is like every mom's dream, I think. So that part I'm really looking forward to as well. I think it will be nice if I'm meeting people all day long and talking with people and learning to just be able to go and like decompress by myself at night. This is by far the longest I have driven by myself in a very long time. Right now I'm not quite halfway there, but I stopped to eat at Chick-fil-A. And it was delicious. I definitely spent way too much time here because I think I was excited to be out of the car. But now I've got my drink. I'm getting back on the road, and I'll probably catch up with you again once we're actually there. Okay, I'm finally here, and that was so confusing. And my drive took way longer than I was hoping. There was just a lot of construction and stuff, and you know how it goes. So I got here a little late, so I have not registered yet. There were tons of people walking in with me, so thankfully I wasn't the only one. But this is my room for the next 2 nights, and I'll have to give you a little bit of a tour later. But for now, I'm gonna go kind of like pull myself together a little bit more, go down, hopefully register, and eat some dinner. Okay, I'm a little more put together. Wish me luck. This introvert is about to go meet new people after driving for 7+ hours, so, which is not my favorite thing, but I'm gonna go down to dinner. Hello. It is now almost 11 p.m. It's been a busy night, so I'll give you a little summary of kind of how it's been so far. So first thing I'll say is that I had no idea what to expect in terms of how many people would be here, but when I walked into the room, I don't think I took any footage of it, but when I walked into the room where they were having dinner, I was a little bit late, and I was like, oh my goodness, there were 800 women in there. There are 800 women here total, maybe slightly more, slightly less, but that's the average there. So it was a little overwhelming. They did this thing though where they had different colors on each table, and I think they do this for every meal. So for every meal they'll put like, this color means this color means this, and you go sit at the table which the color fits you best. So for example, tonight they had ones based on like the type of foster care or adoption you do. And so that was fine. I went and sat at a table, like feeling a little awkward, but it was okay. The people I sat with were really nice, but they all kind of knew each other. So that was interesting because I thought, oh, maybe like some of them won't know each other, but they kind of knew each other. But they were super nice to me, and we talked and stuff. And then I ended up going back up to the room for a little bit because I needed to drop some stuff off. And then we had this session, the very first session at 7:30. And we did worship, and then Jamie Finn from Foster the Family spoke, and it was great already. Also, I have to show you something. Because they know that we're all gonna cry at some point, they gave us little tissues that I thought this was so funny. I probably already did shed a tear or two, which I wasn't really expecting, but inspirational, happy things are usually what get me. So it was good. It was a really good session. The message that she shared tonight was just something I really needed to hear, and definitely exceeded my expectations of what it was going to be like. So that was really great. I was still feeling slightly awkward, but then they gave us Cinnabons, so that was pretty great. So I went and sat down to eat it, and everyone here has just been so friendly. Like, this woman came and sat with me for a little bit because she was waiting for the elevators and just wanted to eat her cinnamon bun as well. So we got to talking for a while, and she was super nice, and it turns out her daughter went to the same college that I did. Much later than I did because I graduated like 10 years ago and her daughter just graduated. But it was really cool, especially because I still live pretty close to the college. So it was kind of a fun little connection. And then they had a mixer for people who are here by themselves. Oh, and I forgot to mention this. So everybody gets this name tag, and if one of these two things applies to you, you get these stickers. So this one says, "Here on my own," so that people know I didn't come here with any friends or with a group. And then the other one says, "First time here." And this is just a way for people to kind of know if you've been there before. If you're on your own, then they can kind of strike up a conversation with you. So at first I was like, oh gosh, everybody's gonna know I have no clue what I'm doing and I'm all alone. But I think it's kind of cool because then people can reach out to you and all of that. So anyway, they had a little mixer tonight for all the people who are here on their own. And so I decided to go. I was a little late, but they did a trivia game and that was really fun. And then I ended up getting to talk to all the women at my table, and it was just so nice. Like, we just all connected really well. And I actually got to meet one of you. So Adriana, we met at that little party, and it was so funny because she came up and she was like, "I recognize you from YouTube." And I was like, oh, I didn't know if this was actually going to happen, but I think this is the first time I've met one of you guys in the wild. I'm going to call it in the wild, but when it's not like a planned thing or talking through Instagram or doing a consultation. The only other time something similar has happened is when one of my friends from real life found my channel and she didn't know I had one. So yeah, it was super cool to meet her and to talk. And so we all exchanged numbers, and hopefully we're going to maybe sit together tomorrow or eat a meal together. So yeah, everyone was super nice, and I'm just really loving it so far. One of the best things that Jamie said, I mean, she said a lot of good things, but one of the funny things she said is she goes, "Welcome," like she says, "This weekend, you're not going to be so inspirational and you're not going to be so special." And I actually just like really loved that, because I think as foster adoptive parents, we often feel so different from other people, like from other parents, and maybe they view us differently. And a lot of people will put foster adoptive parents on a pedestal that we do not deserve to be on. And so I just really love that everyone was laughing. I think it made us all kind of give a sigh of relief, I think. It's been a good experience so far. On my way here driving, when I was like in the car for so long by myself, I kept being like, why am I doing this to myself? I have to go, drive all this way all by myself, which I hate driving, especially long distances like that. And then at the same time, I was like, and now I have to go meet strangers and I'm not going to know anybody. But it's been really good. So I'm glad I came. I think tomorrow's going to be great. I do need to go to sleep, but I think I'm going to give you a really fast room tour before I do that, because I'm about to get this room way too messy. Okay, so here is the bathroom. I think it has a really cool door. Isn't this door really cool? It slides open. And then I've already got some stuff out here. There's actually a tub in here and a shower. Some products I always like when they have these full-size ones, so you don't have to worry about running out. And then I think this is adjoining, so let's just pretend I didn't already throw my stuff everywhere. But there are 2 beds. So one bed will probably be my bed I put all my stuff on, and then this bed will be where I sleep. There's a nice little desk area. There is a TV. I got my outfit laid out for tomorrow, headband included. I always wonder if people think it's weird how many headbands I wear, but I've just always loved headbands. I feel like if you don't look super nice, you throw a headband on, you look more put together. Got my badge, my earrings. Oh, and guys, I made some business cards. So just in case I meet anyone that I want to share this with, I have a business card and then my little QR code that goes to my website. I've got a little chair here for my lounging. And then I'm up on the 11th floor. So it's a pretty cool little view of the square. I actually really like it. Pretty cool little view here. And there's this little wet bar area with the ice and a fridge, and I brought myself a couple water bottles and a couple drinks. Here's a little booklet they gave us. And it's really cute, and it has like everything you need in here. It has our schedule. It has where certain things are happening. It has a place for taking notes for the sessions and reflecting. I might do this before bed, actually. I'm not sure. I might do it in a notebook because I feel like I'm going to lose this. More stuff for some of the sessions tomorrow. This is the Saturday schedule. There's a lot going on. Some more place for sessions and reflections. Oh, and then here's a list of all the different breakouts they have. So I want to think about which ones I want to go to. There's so many different speakers I would love to hear from, so it's really hard to pick. So yeah, this is my little hotel. I need to get some sleep, so I'm gonna go get myself ready for bed, and then I'll catch up with you in the morning and hopefully give you some updates on what some of the sessions have been like. There's some really good ones. Good morning. I enjoyed a nice little sleep in this morning, got myself showered and dressed and ready for the day. So I'm gonna go enjoy some breakfast. It's towards the end of the breakfast time, so I'm hoping there's still some stuff left, but either way, sleeping in was totally worth it after driving so long yesterday. I may try to text a couple of the girls I met last night and see if they want to meet up to sit together during the session today, but yeah, I'm getting ready to go. Also, here's the view from my room in the daytime. It's really cool, this little square. And here's the other view.
Is he doing the stuff? At the end of this day, the stuff is good, but it's not the best part. The kids that will leave our care will not.
What your child is going through, and there were some chapters that I read that I swear I could have written myself.
Okay, wow, it's been a long day. It is currently after 5 p.m. and I've had breakfast. I went to the main session. I've had lunch. I went to 3 other sessions. I had a snack. It's been a long day. I came up here for a little bit just to rest and kind of recharge my little introvert batteries. And then I have dinner in a little bit and then another session. And then there's supposed to be like a little girls' party tonight. So I think it might be fun to go to that at least for a little bit. So I'm gonna try to get a little rest. And I'll have to catch up like when I'm home to sit down and talk through the stuff I've learned, because it's just truly, really and truly do not have the energy right now, but I've learned so many great things and really impactful sessions. It's been awesome. I'm already planning on coming back next year. Hello, good morning. It is actually like almost 11 o'clock now. And last night I was up so late. We did karaoke. There were all sorts of fun little photo booth things. It was kind of like a huge party. So I was up pretty late. So I'm pretty tired. My voice is tired. Like I was sick earlier this week, as I think I mentioned. And so I'm just like, I cannot. I've been singing and talking and all sorts of stuff. So I'm definitely feeling it in my voice and just in my general, self. I'm just very tired. Just attended the Sunday morning session. Then we have brunch, and then we have one more session to end out the time. I can't believe like how fast it's gone and yet how much I've done. So it's been a really great experience. I definitely would like to come back, especially if I come back with some of my friends, my local friends. That would be awesome. The plans for today are afterwards, after everything's over, one of my friends who actually, I totally forgot she lives in the area. Her name is Sarah. So she reached out to me. We're going to get together for a little bit before I have to get on the road again for another, 7.5 hours on the road. So I'm excited to see her because we have not seen each other in person in a long time. Like I want to say maybe 10 years. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but it's probably close to that. So I'm really excited to see her and chat for a little bit. And so, yeah, I'll probably catch up with you again when I'm all checked out and in my car and everything for the day is over. Okay, it has now been a little over a week since I returned from the field retreat. And I did write down some of my thoughts right after I returned home, but I haven't really had a chance yet to sit down and share my thoughts with you. So I wanted to take a minute to do that in case you're interested in going to this retreat or another type of adoption retreat. Hopefully you'll find this interesting. So first of all, I thought I would give like a quick overview of what the weekend was like. And I think I already shared a lot of what I did on Friday and Saturday. So I'll tell you a little bit of what happened on Saturday, and I don't think I shared much at all about Sunday. So I'll talk about those, and I'll also share some highlights of the trip. Saturday was a super busy day. What we did on Saturday was we had breakfast, then we had the main session, then they had lunch. I think it was a little break and then lunch. And then you had an opportunity to attend breakout sessions, or you could pretty much do whatever you wanted. They were very much about, this is a build your own retreat, build your own weekend. We're not going to force you to do anything. So they did have some really cool crafts. Actually, I kind of wish I had had a chance to make them, but they had a really cool craft. They had snacks everywhere. You could just go hang out. You could really do whatever you wanted. I did choose to attend all 3 breakout sessions because there were some really good speakers and some people I really wanted to hear and some really good topics. I did attend 3 different sessions that were overall good. 2 of them I loved. The other one I did not. And I'm just not really going to mention that one, but I will talk about the other ones in a little bit. Then later there was dinner, and we did the next main session. And then that evening we did some really cool things, which I'll talk about in a little bit at that main session. And then there was an 80s themed party. And I was thinking, okay, this party is not going to be like that intense. Oh, it was intense. Like they had a dance floor. There was music like blaring. There were all these moms just like dancing the whole time. They had like this candy bar is what they called it, with full-size candy bars out. You could just go get stuff. They had a couple, I might include a clip here, but they had some really cool like photo booth areas. And they even had that thing where like you stand in the middle and the camera rotates around you and you just like dance. So that was kind of funny, but we did that. I did that with the girls that I had been hanging out with, and it was really fun. We got to meet Jamie Finn, which was really cool, and Jamie Ivy. So that was really nice to be able to chat with them for a couple seconds and get a quick picture. And there was karaoke, and let me tell you, it was so entertaining. I kind of wish there was a bigger area where they had karaoke because it was so fun. There were so many people up there, and it was just so entertaining to watch everyone. Some people went up and were amazing, like incredible singers. And then other people went up and they were just being funny, and that was almost even better because everyone just enjoyed laughing along with them. The group of girls that I was hanging out with, we did end up singing Mamma Mia, which was pretty fun. And then on Sunday, I was very tired because we stayed up super late the night before, but they didn't do breakfast, they did brunch. So first you actually went to the session and then they had brunch. We checked out of the hotel. The last session was also really powerful, which I'll mention one of the things we did in that session. Okay, so now I want to cover some of the highlights or like my favorite things about the retreat. The first thing I absolutely loved was just how easy it was to meet new people and how it just felt like you were surrounded by other people who just get it. You didn't have to explain your situation. Like at meals, when there were times that I was sitting with people I'd never met before, people were just very welcoming and it was so easy to connect. Yeah, I just feel like I made a lot of really cool connections and had a lot of really good conversations with people. One of the big things that was really impactful for me over this weekend were the main sessions where they did a lot of like biblical teaching and even just laying out the theme. The theme of the weekend was seen. And we talked about how in Genesis, Hagar was actually the first person to like speak a name for God, and she named him the God who sees me. And Hagar was, this servant slave, basically. She had been mistreated. She was alone, but God saw her. And I think it just really resonated with a lot of us who were not slaves. Okay, it's nothing like that. But for a lot of us who are doing the day in, day out tasks of motherhood, and especially with the added layers of trauma that some of our kids have, it can feel easy to not feel seen in that and to feel like what you're doing is not valued or important, but just realizing that God sees that, and that God also sees when we're failing. He sees when we're not doing what we should do, and he loves us even so. Also, just like being able to sing worship songs and just worship with all these other women without distraction of my own children was something that surprised me how much it impacted me. I mean, I probably cried like every session, I'm being honest with you. So it was just so nice and like such a gift to just be able to worship and be completely in that moment and not feel distracted by other things around me. It was just a really powerful thing that I didn't expect to impact me the way it did. So really grateful that we got that time. Another thing in the main session that I found so impactful, it was on Saturday night, and they did this thing where they gave everyone a like electric candle type of thing, like just a battery operated candle. And they turned off all the lights. And what they had us do was she read statements. And if that statement applied to us, we would raise our candle in the air. And it was a way to kind of share our feelings and thoughts and what we're going through without feeling like everyone's looking at us, but also a way for us to look around the room and see how many women are experiencing these same things. So, I mean, they said things along the lines of like, I constantly worry about my adopted child's future or my foster child's future. I have had to say goodbye to a kid. I have had a failed adoption. And so it was so powerful. I mean, I don't think there was a dry eye in the place, because there were even thoughts and feelings that I have had that I often feel really alone in. And I've shared this before with like post-adoption depression, post-adoption blues, and I try to be open about it, but I feel like sometimes I'm open about it, but then a lot of people aren't. And so I'm like, am I the only one feeling this way? Some of you guys have clarified to me I'm not, because you've told me in the comments, but it was incredible to see some of those statements that she said about similar feelings that I've had. And I would say like almost everyone in the room was raising their candle. That was incredibly powerful to me, and it made me realize I'm not alone. I'm not the only one who struggles with this, and how many people probably don't want to admit that, but in the darkness of that room with the solidarity, they felt comfortable to share that. And so that just, I don't know, I've just felt lighter since that. I've felt not so guilty about some of the feelings I've had. I'm realizing, wow, this is incredibly normal. That was worth the cost of admission on its own, to be honest with you, like that experience. It was really powerful. And on the last day, they did a similar thing. You were supposed to go get a glow stick for each child you had mothered. And so for some of these foster moms who have been fostering for years, I mean, they had like fistfuls of glow sticks representing children that they had mothered. For me, I had 3, but they also had us do the same thing where they turn off all the lights and we'd raise our glow sticks if it applied to any of the children that were in our care. And so we could kind of see some of the needs that our kids are having and how those needs are so similar across the board, and that we're not alone in trying to find ways to support our kids through that. It was, again, I don't think there was a dry eye in the place. It was super powerful to see that. Being in that room with people, being able to raise that up and say, yes, like this is something that applies to my kid and it's so hard. It was just a really affirming thing. And I think it was a perfect way to end, because we're really like thinking, the weekend was more about us getting rest and us learning and all that stuff. But going back home. We're going back into our family and our kids who need us and all of that. So to put the focus back on those kids right before we went back was like, I don't know, like I could almost I'm almost tearing up talking about this. But sometimes I think I was just like, I need a break, I need a break from being with my kids. And so you go into this weekend thinking, oh, finally, I'm getting a break. But like doing that the last day just empowered me. And I just felt like I can't wait to get back home and just like love on my kids. I'm like literally crying right now. I don't think I've ever cried on this channel, but I'm much more likely to cry when something's like positive emotional. I don't know why, but I just like tear up about things like that. Sorry about that. I should have worn waterproof mascara apparently. But yeah, I just felt like that really like softened my heart towards my kids and it just like reignited some compassion that I had been, I've been struggling with compassion fatigue for a while, just with constantly dealing with things with our kids and being patient with them. And it was just a perfect way to go back. I just felt like I was ready to go back into battle, like not battle, and I don't know, like it just has really emboldened me and empowered me. And so I'm so thankful I went, even like I said, even just for that. But there were so many other reasons as well. I will say the only complaints I had about the weekend, if any, there were a lot of people there. There were 800 people. And so I think for me personally, I would probably prefer a retreat that was a lot smaller, but I guess like this retreat started like 5 years ago and the first year it was only 85 people. So it has like grown tenfold, which is amazing. And I'm really glad. I just kind of wish that they did like multiple retreats, but with smaller groups, like in different parts of the country. That would be great. I'm sure it'd be like way too many things to plan. I would just love to go on a retreat that was much smaller. That's something I've thought of hosting myself before, but that sounds very overwhelming. So maybe someday in the distant future, I would do that. That's kind of like been a long-term dream of mine for a long time. But because I just, as an introvert, I just like the smaller, more intimate groups. And I think that would be nice. But it also with it being so big, it gave me the opportunity to meet a lot of people. So that was a bonus. And I'm sure that's why they were able to have such good speakers there and some bigger names. And so I understand that like good things come from that as well, but that's just a personal preference. I also think along those same lines, it was called the Filled Retreat, but it really felt more like a conference to me. And I guess the difference to me is that conferences are much more about learning and educating yourself and all of that. And retreats are more about relaxing and opening up and all of those things. And so I felt like there were less opportunities to just like open up with people and a lot more opportunities to just learn and take in information. And I take in information about adoption and foster care a lot. I watch a lot of videos, I read books, I read articles. It's just like the world I'm in. So I really appreciated the sessions I went to and I did learn things from them, but I also would have maybe appreciated like a little more rest to it. And I realized I could have chosen rest instead of the sessions. So that's partially on me. Would I recommend going to the Filled Retreat? Absolutely. It was amazing. I came back feeling really refreshed and ready to be a mom and just be here for my kids. I did feel seen, as the retreat is called. I felt seen by other adoptive moms. I felt like I could see that I wasn't the only one feeling a certain way. And that to me was kind of priceless. Also, I feel that the cost for what you're getting is really not bad at all. So it was $250 for the ticket. And then you did have to pay for your own hotel, but like all the food was included. And I never had to leave the conference center because the hotel was attached. So that was super nice. If you're thinking about going to Filled next year, I definitely think you should. I think it's totally worth it. I will most likely be there again. I think if you're feeling a little bit alone in your adoption or foster care journey, that could be a great place to go. And hey, if you go and I'm going, let's talk when we're there. I would love that. Anyway, I am talking way too long about this retreat. So I hope if you enjoyed this little video review that you will give a little thumbs up on the video so more people can find it and hopefully hear about this amazing retreat. And also hope that if you're not, you will subscribe so we can hang out more and spend some more time together. Let's go ahead. I haven't done this in a while, but if you made it to the end of the video, then you are my people, okay? You're my people. If you made it all the way to the end of this long video, I want you to answer in the comments whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. How about if you're an introvert, in the comments, I want you to put a sleeping emoji, because when you're an introvert, you get tired when you're around a lot of people. And if you're an extrovert, I want you to put like a big smiling or laughing emoji, because you guys love being around people and it energizes you. So I'd love to know in the comments. I'm an introvert, so a big conference was kind of a lot for me, but I'm glad I went. Thank you so much for watching. You're the best, and I will see you next week.